Assalamu alaikum. Myself Ahkam Ansari. Student, I am back again with yet another video lecture of information technology. In our previous lecture of information technology, we have seen some built-in function in JavaScript. Initially, we have seen parse int function and we have seen prompt function. Prompt function we have seen is used to accept value from user. Means it is something like we accept some value from user, means we don't need to define value, the user will enter their own value. So by using that value we can perform some arithmetic operation or we can do anything what we want. But now we are moving towards some conversion function like we have seen parse int, in which we accept value from user and we convert it into integer value, that is full number value. Now it is similar, parse float is similar to your parse int function, where we are going to convert your string value into your decimal value. Parse float means we have seen what is meant by parse. Parse is nothing but we are going to analyze or we are going to convert into some type, that is initially we have seen integer type, now we are going to see float type. As we know what is meant by float, float is nothing but decimal value, okay, where we have some point. So if you use parse int function, so it will give your full integer. For example, if you write 2.5, so it will give only 2, or if you write 2.6, it will give only 2. If you write 3.5, it will give only 3. Means the full integer value will be given by using parse int function, that is a full integer or number. In the same way, if you use parse float, so it will give, if you write 2.5, the answer would be 2.5 because it will convert into a decimal value or float value. Okay, so in some cases if you want to perform arithmetic operation or if you use that value in certain function or certain thing, in that case if you want decimal value 2, you have to use parse float function. Otherwise if you use parse int function, it will give only full integer value. Okay, so it is better to use on the basis of your requirement. You can convert into either float or integer number. So if you want full value, means if you want to decimal value 2, in that case you want parse float function. But parse float, there is a requirement for parse float that it accept in form of string value and it will read by first character only. If the first character is in integer, in number, then it will convert. Otherwise it will give an error, that is a NaN, that is a not a number. Student, please pay attention on this line. If the given string, as we know string is a collection of characters, okay, and parse int function accept some argument or some parameter, that is it accept value in the form of string and it convert into decimal number, okay, it convert into decimal number, but it will start from the first character. If the first character of that string is a number, then it will convert into floating point or decimal point. If the first character is not a number or it is a character, then it will not parse or it will not convert and it will generate an error, and that error is called as a NaN, that is a not a number. Okay, let's have a look what is parse float means. I have given an example that parse float function is used to parse, that is a convert a string and convert it into floating point. That is a floating point means you have to remember sometime in examination there is a question called floating number is also called as a decimal number. Okay, so floating and decimal both are the similar word. For example, now I have given an example. You have declared a variable called var a, where is a is the name of variable. Parse float is a function and it's a built-in function. And student, again I am telling you that is the function which is given by the JavaScript is a built-in function, and JavaScript is a case sensitive language. You have to remember this. I have written parse float, and parse float is a single word. There is no space between parse and float, like we have seen parse int. But the thing is that f is in capital letter, like in parse int I was in capital letter. In the same way parse int, here f is in a capital letter. So you have to remember the cases which is given by the JavaScript. If you won't use proper case, you will not get proper result. Okay, so you have pass and string, that is a 50.25. Your result will be document.write, means this value will store inside variable a and it will convert into 50.25. in case if you use parse int function, okay student, if you use parse int function, it will give the result as a 50. We have seen in our previous lectures. Okay, that's it. It's a very simple. The only thing is that you have to remember parse int give a full value, it will accept string, it will give a full value, and parse float will give in decimal if it is in decimal. Okay, if value is in decimal, and it will start from the first character. If first character is not a number, it will give NaN output, that is a not a number. Okay, now I am going to show you the live in practical how we will perform this and how we will check actually how this function work. So for this, first I will create a simple HTML page, then I will start coding in JavaScript. In JavaScript I will declare the same program, or I will run same program, or if you want we can move to some other program also. Okay, so to create a simple HTML, I am going to start my notepad. First thing, I will go in my search bar and I will type notepad. Okay, this is my notepad. I will click on notepad. Now I will start coding in HTML5. The first thing is that I will write doc type, and my doc type is HTML. Now I will start HTML, that is the first tag of HTML, and closing HTML, that is the last tag of HTML page. Between these two tags I will add some other important or required tag, that is a head tag on top and closing head tag just after opening. Okay, after that I will add one of the most important tag of HTML, that is a body tag. Whatever you write between these opening and closing body tag, it will display on your browser. Now I have added some basic or some required HTML tag which is used to create any HTML page. Okay, now we have somebody add title tag, so if you want to assign title, but we don't require this thing. Our focus is on JavaScript. Now again the question is that sometime in your examination JavaScript can be added inside the HTML page. What are the two possible places where you can add JavaScript? So we have two possible places where we can add JavaScript. The first place or the first option is we can add between opening and closing head tag. Okay, here you can add between, see the space, here you can add your JavaScript code. Okay, this is the first option or first choice, or you can have any other choice. Like the second choice is you can add between opening and closing body. Here you can add, so there is no certain rule where you can add. It's up to you whether you want to use in head section or you want to use in body section. But the most programmer or in programming or a software developer, mostly I have seen, or many of you have seen, that most of the programmer use script tag inside the head tag. Okay, so follow our ancestor, no problem. So I'm going to add a script tag on my head section. So if you want to add any scripting language, HTML provide a tag called script tag. Okay, so I have added script tag. Now which type of script you are going to add? Okay, because we have different scripting language, like currently we are using JavaScript, then we have VBScript, and a number of the scripting languages are there. So you have to mention, okay, by using an attribute of HTML tag, there is a language attribute, you have to mention. Okay, now it will give a clear picture to your programmer or the person who are looking your code that which language you are using. Okay, so language equal to JavaScript. Okay, now whatever you write between these two script tag, that is opening and closing script tag, it will considered as a JavaScript language. And JavaScript is an object oriented language, and it's a different computer language which have certain rules and regulations, some set of syntax and many things. Like every language have, means if you are going to learn Urdu language, Hindi language, Marathi language, there are a set of rules and regulation. Okay, that's called grammar. In the same way, HTML is a different language, and you have added one more language, that is JavaScript. So JavaScript has also rules and regulation and on syntax, you can say, and on grammar. Okay, so you have to perform your coding, you have to write your coding on the basis of the rules and regulation given by the JavaScript. So JavaScript is a case sensitive, and a number of the time I have told you that JavaScript is a case sensitive, so you have to remember these things before writing any code. Okay, so now you have to write code according to JavaScript language. So whatever you write between these two script tag, it will considered as a JavaScript. So our objective is to write a program or to write a code in which we will perform some function, and that function name is parse float function. So for this I will First I will declare a variable where a is, for example, you can assign any variable or you can declare any variable, where a equal to, now I am going to use prompt. Okay, if you remember, we have done prompt. The prompt function is used to accept value from user. So I will say I am going to accept some value from user, in which I am going to write some message, please enter some value. Okay, please enter value. Okay, I have written please enter value. Now I am going to put a semicolon. Student, semicolon in JavaScript is optional. And what is the meaning of semicolon in JavaScript? It will terminate, or it shows that it's the end of the line. Okay, or it's the end of the statement, not line, end of the statement. Even you can write after this line, means you have written a equal to prompt please enter value, then you can write var b, you can write var b also, but it's not good practice. Means this semicolon says that it's the end of this statement. Okay, this may start from here, and if you have put a semicolon, it will say that this statement is now closed. Okay, or now end. And again, it's an optional. Okay, again I am saying, say putting or adding semicolon in JavaScript is optional. There is no compulsory field to add. It's up to you whether you want to add, because JavaScript is very similar to C language and Java language and C++ language. Okay, that's why this language has compulsory rule to write at the end of the line or at the end of the statement you have to put semicolon, because in their syntax, in their grammar, it's a written. Okay, but in JavaScript it's given as an optional whether you want to write, because initially you have to learn these languages, C++, Java, you have to learn these languages. So most of the programmer have habit to write semicolon. So JavaScript says yes, if you want to add you can add, otherwise it's an optional. Okay, so don't worry, sometime even when I record some lecture for you, sometime I add semicolon, sometime I don't add. So please don't be confused, it's an optional part. If you want to add, it's look like good, so you can add if you want to do some practice, or even if you are learning some programming language, so don't worry, you can add. Now I have used prompt function. This function will accept some value. Let me save the file. We will see line by line code, so you will get the clear picture of what we are working on. Initially we have created a simple HTML page. If I want to show you, okay, by using this we have created a simple HTML page, and we don't want to display anything. We have not written anything till now, but I have written one thing where means I have declared a variable in which I will store some value. Okay, but this value will come from user because I am using a function called prompt. Now I am going to save the file. It asks where you want to save. I say okay. You want to save my computer desktop. I say okay. So first it is asking that what would be your file name. I say that float. I can write float .html. Okay, you can have any name. Let me show the file. When I flip back to my desktop, okay, the file is created now. Okay, let me open the file, means I am going to run on my browser. So you will notice that when I run on your page, there is a blank page, or nothing I have taken inside the body text. That's why it's a blank. Now you will notice that there is a box called prompt box is popping on your screen, and please enter value. It is, I have written this value. Okay, I have written this text in your prompt function. That's why it's saying this please enter value. So I can enter any value. It's up to me. I can enter any value, but this value will store inside variable, but I have not written the code to display that value. Let me do this. Means I want to display. How I can display? I can display document dot write, and inside that I can pass the value of a. Okay, so now whatever value you insert inside the prompt function, it will display by using document dot write a. Okay, let me save the file. Flip back to your browser. Again it will display your box. Again, for example, I am writing 1 2 3 4 5. I have written 1 2 3 4 5. When I click OK, now you will get your output which you have written inside the document dot write. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 is coming. Again, if you want to refresh, F5. Now again accept some more value. For example, you have written A B C D. Okay, then click OK, you will get AB. Means it is a user panel where you can insert any value. That prompt, and again I think now it's a refresh your content which we have learned 2 days back, that the prompt function is used to accept values. So right now we have just done what we have initially done. Okay, so ABCD is coming, means whatever value you will insert, it will display it, because we have written a code like this. So if you write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 ABC, whatever you want to write, you can add, it will just display. Okay, now we are moving towards our main topic of today's lecture, that we have to learn float function. Okay, so we have accepted some value by using prompt function. We have accepted some value, and you have to remember prompt function accept value in the form of string. Okay, this value whatever you accept, it will accept as an string. Okay, now again the same thing, parseInt function also convert the value which is in string form. So if you write parseInt function, for example, I want to declare a variable called where b equals to, where b equal to, now I am going to write parse function, parse float, and inside that I will pass a. Do you have any problem, student? What I have done, initially I have declared a variable. I am trying to explain, please student pay attention. I have declared a variable where a, inside that variable I am storing some value. Which value I am going to store? From this word, that's a prompt, please enter. This line or the selected line, the selected word I have selected in this program, it will create a prompt box which we have seen in my browser, and when you enter some value, that value will store inside variable a. Okay, done? Any problem? Means I have declared a variable in which I am going to store value from user. Means, and to take value from user, we have a function called prompt. By using this function, it will generate a box. Okay, let me refresh. Now when you run your program, when your cursor move to where a prompt, okay, when it shows that the prompt is written inside the COM, so your compiler, your browser interpreter will accept that prompt, and it will generate a prompt box. This box is called as a prompt box, and it is expecting some value from user. Who is user? Currently I am a user, because I am working on this program. So it is accepting some value, so I have to write some value. For example, I have written 1 2 3 4. Now this 1 2 3 4 which is accepted by using this prompt box will store, where it will store, it will store inside variable a, because I have written code. Whatever this value will accept, it will store inside the variable a. Now the value of a will be 1 2 3 4. This line we have seen just few minutes back. Yes or no? Where I have written document.write a, so it was displaying that the value of a. So the value of a is stored, and value is coming from prompt box. Okay. Now this line is enough. Now when your cursor will come in next line, because your execution, your compilation, your interpretation start from line by line, it will start. Okay, means once it will enter in JavaScript code, first it will come and declare a variable, then it will generate a prompt box, then you enter some value, so that value will store inside variable a. After that it will move to this line, and again it will say, okay, you want to declare one more variable, okay, I will declare. So it will declare a variable in that memory, and after that it is saying that you are now the value, now you are going to parse some value. Okay, now you are going to parse float. It will consider that now you are going to parse, means you are going to convert, you are going to analyze some value, you are going to convert some value. Okay student, so which value you want to convert, which value you want to analyze it, which value you want to split, so you have passed that value, means you have passed a. And what is the a? A is the value which is accepted from prompt box. So means this function will convert the value of a, and it will store in variable b. Similar like this function will accept value from user, and it will store inside a. Okay, in the same way this function will convert a value. Which value it will convert? It will convert value of A and store inside variable B. Okay, now some value is stored inside variable B. Now I am going to display that value. So I will write document dot write, and inside that I will say B. I want to display B. Why B? Because B have converted value. Okay, A have accepted value, which is entered by the user, but B have some value which is parsed value, which is converted value, which is split value. Okay, because by using this function you have converted the value of A into floating point. Okay, let me show the output. Okay, let me cancel it. Let me, because it is given null. F5 I have clicked. Now if I write 1 2 3, okay, please student, I have entered 1 2 3, and we know prompt function will generate a string value. Okay, I click OK. So it is showing OK. Oh, sorry, it is showing 1 2 3. Why? Because I have passed 1 2 3. But if I again click F5 and if I write 1 2 3.5, what I have written, I have passed a decimal value 1 2 3.5. Again it will display 1 2 3.5. Why? Because I have used parse float function. If you change this function, here you have changed parse float, you have written, so it is showing floating value 2. This value is accepting in the form of a string, but by using this function you have converted into floating. Okay, and it will convert into floating means if the value is in point it will display. But in case of parseInt function, if you write parseInt function, even if you enter floating point number, it will not display decimal number or floating point number. For example, now you will get the clear picture what is the difference between parse float and parseInt. Refresh. For example, 25.75 I have entered. I have entered 25.75. When you click OK, it will convert into 25.7, because it's a decimal value. It will convert into 25.75 by using parse float. But if you use parseInt function, let me replace parse float to parseInt. Now my function is which we have seen in our previous lecture. Okay, it's a parseInt. Now when you flip back to your browser, when you refresh that, now I am going to enter 25.25. Again I have entered in decimal, but your output will be only 25. See why? Because I have used parseInt function. ParseInt function only generate the full integer value. Okay, but the parse float, even let me refresh, if you write 50.25, you will get only 50. Okay, you will get only 50. Why? Because parseInt function convert your string into integer, and integer means the full number. Okay, integer means the full number. And what is mean by decimal number? Means if the value is in point, or floating and decimal both are the similar word. Okay, so in case if you use parseInt function and if you have to perform some calculation and which have some decimal value, so you will not get the proper output. Okay, so in that case you have to use parse float function, because parse float function will convert into decimal point 2. Okay student, again what I said in initial, that if your string in the form of character, it will use the first value, it will read first value. For example, I just want to show you. Let me replace parseInt to parse float. Okay, now I have changed parse float. Flip back to your browser, refresh it. Now again you will get, for example, if you write A123, what you have written, A123 you have written. So A123 is a string. Okay, A123 is a collection of character in which you have written alphanumeric value. Initially you have started with A and then you have added 1 2 3 as a number. So in that case, when you click on OK, so that value will go to your parse float function. So parse float function will take the first value of your string. Okay, and what is the first value? The first value is A, and A is not a number. A is not a number. A is a character. So when you click on OK, when your this value will forwarded to your parse float function, it will read A and it will say it is not a number. It will directly say, it will not move forward. Okay, click on OK. What the result? Result is not a number. Why? Because when what actually happening, you have written 1 point, you have written 1 point A B C. As we know, 1 is a number, then there is a point, but after a point it's not a number, so it will display only 1. Okay, what actually happening in this program means the value which is accepted by this function, that is a prompt function, it will store inside variable A. Now again when it move to second line, now you have used parse float function and you are going to convert the value of A by using parse float. Okay, so parse, what actually parse float do, it accept value that is A and it will start from the first character of that string, because we have accepted value from prompt, and float function is also take a parameter as a string. So no problem, a prompt function will create or generate is string value. So it will start from the first character. Okay, first character means when you write ABC, okay, or when you write ACOM, it's a collection of character you have written. When it will execute, when you click on OK, when you click on OK, okay, so by using this line, it will accept a value called ACOM, which it will store inside variable A. Now by using parse float function, and in that what is the value of A? ACOM. So now it will start from A, that the character A, that is a ACOM, means the name starts from A. So it will take A and it will not go to H and not move to K, not move to again A, not move, means it will read only the first value. If the first value is a number, student, again I am trying to explain the basic part of float function. It will accept a string and it will start reading from the first character of that particular string, and if that particular string have a number, the first character have a number, then it will read and move to second character, and if the second character is not a number, it will display the first character only. If the first character is not a number, it will not move the second character and it will generate that it is not a number, and you will get a result as a NaN, not a number. Okay, not a number. Save it. When you click on OK, so it will say, it will read only ACOM, means the first character of A. For example, let me do one more example. For example, you have written KMS. Now when you click on OK, the value of A will be KMS and your parse float function will start from K. The first character of that string is a K, and K is not a number, so it will directly generate NaN. In some cases, for example, if you have 1.2 KMS, what you have 1.2 KMS, this is your value, and that value will store inside variable A, and by using parse float this value will be converted. So the first thing it will read, it will say okay, 1 is a number, okay, it will move to, then it will say okay, dot is again is a part of decimal, so I will convert it, no problem. Then it will read to 2, again it will say okay, I will display 2, but after 2 it will say there is a K, and it will say no, K is not a number, so your output could be 1.2. Okay, see, your output is 1.2. Getting, student? That's for today. If you have any query or any question related to parse and parse float or any function which we have learned or which is about to learn in our future session. Please feel free to post your question. Inshallah, I will try to answer it. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.